For years, Alia Shawkat and Brad Pitt have been linked by a romance rumor neither of them ever confirmed. Now, 7 years after that speculation first took off, Shawkat is looking back at the whole episode and revealing just how strange it was from her side. During the Sunday, August 16th episode of Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, host Andy Cohen admitted that he had been fascinated by the reports about Shawkat and Pitt. Kristen Stewart, Shawkat's 36-year-old The Wrong Girls co-star, admitted she felt the same way. "I was obsessed with the Brad Pitt dating rumors," Cohen, 58, told Shawkat, 37. Stewart added, "Me too. I was enthralled." Shawkat could only laugh at the attention, taking a sip of her drink before responding to Cohen. "Oh God, of course you were." The conversation eventually turned to the question everyone seemed to have back in 2019. How did Shawkat and Pitt even become a rumored couple in the first place? According to Shawkat, the answer was far less dramatic than the headline suggested. "This is my favorite question to get asked," Shawkat joked. No, he's just my friend. We became friends." She explained that filmmaker Spike Jonze introduced them, describing the connection as something that simply developed through their shared interest in art and their friendship. "Spike Jonze introduced us. It sounds all very chic and Hollywood, but we met, and he's really into art, and he's very cool, and we became friends." The problem was that once Shawkat was photographed alongside Pitt, people immediately interpreted the friendship as something more. Everyone thought we were dating, because if you stand next to him, everyone thinks you're dating, like even his own mother. Cohen pointed out that, if someone is going to be the subject of a dating rumor, Pitt is hardly the worst person to be paired with. There could be worse dating rumors, Cohen said. Shawkat agreed. But for her, the funniest part was what happened at home. No, not bad. "My grandmother saved us weekly. I was on the cover of it," Shawkat remembered of the time period. "There was a really bad photo. It was him and me being like, 'Ooh,' and they were like, 'Who's the new girl?' And my Arabic grandmother was excited." For Shawkat, the magazine cover created a particularly funny disconnect. She had spent years working in the film industry, but her grandmother apparently became far more impressed when she thought Shawkat might be dating Brad Pitt. "I was like, I've been working in film for 30 years. You've never seen anything, but you love this," Shawkat said, adding that when she was on the magazine cover, her grandmother felt like, "I made it." Cohen immediately understood the joke, telling her, "Again, it's only cred for you, as far as I'm concerned." "Totally. He's great. He's the coolest," Shawkat replied. The rumor itself began gaining traction in November 2019, when Shawkat and Pitt were spotted together at the LA on Fire art exhibition in Los Angeles. The sighting was enough to spark romance speculation, although a source told us at the time that the two were just friends and were not dating. The following month, Pitt addressed the broader pattern of dating rumors surrounding him in an interview with the New York Times. "I don't know how many women they've said I've been dating the last 2 or 3 years, and none of it's true." That did little to stop the speculation. In March 2020, Shawkat and Pitt were seen together again, this time at a Thundercat show at the Wiltern in Los Angeles, and later at a local In-N-Out. Their repeated public appearances gave the rumors another life, even though the nature of their relationship had not changed. By May, another source told us that Shawkat had become a close friend bros Pitt could lean on following his 2016 divorce from Angelina Jolie. "They have an incredibly tight bond and trust each other implicitly," the insider said at the time. "Alia's been a wonderful help for Brad during this major transition." A second source said the two were hanging out plenty during the coronavirus pandemic, in part because they lived about 10 minutes away from each other. "It's all very organic and easy," the insider said, insisting their friendship was platonic. Shawkat eventually addressed the speculation herself in June 2020, making the situation as clear as possible. "We're not dating. We're just friends." Years later, Shawkat revealed that the media frenzy had been almost surreal from her perspective, especially because Pitt apparently had little idea how much attention their friendship was receiving. In January 2022, she described the entire period to The New Yorker as something that barely felt real in hindsight. "It was so weird. Now it's like a weird dream, where I'm like, did that happen? Shawkat told The New Yorker in January 2022 of the whirlwind rumors. Brad had no awareness of it at all, which is so funny, because he doesn't read that. Shawkat said she eventually told Pitt that people believed they were romantically involved and that she was even being followed because of the speculation. I was like, you know, everyone thinks we're dating, and there's this whole thing, and I'm being followed. According to Shawkat, Pitt's response showed just how disconnected he was from the media frenzy surrounding them. I'm sorry. It happens. If you hang out with me, it happens. He had no awareness of it at all. The rumors eventually faded, particularly after Pitt began dating Ines de Ramon in late 2022, putting even more distance between the actor and the old speculation surrounding Shawkat. Shawkat, meanwhile, has largely kept her romantic life out of the spotlight. In November 2023, she welcomed her first baby. Looking back now, what remains most striking about the entire episode is how little changed between the two friends themselves. A few photographs, a famous actor, and years of public fascination transformed an ordinary friendship into one of Hollywood's most persistent dating rumors, while Shawkat says the reality was much simpler all along.